The Hearts of Gold podcast is brought to you by the Grow and Share Network, produced by Off the Walter Media Productions.
Welcome to Hearts of Gold. Today we have Kaitlyn with us. Hi, Kaitlyn.
Hi.
Can you tell us about your Girl Scout Gold Award project?
I raised a seeing eye dog for my Gold Award, which is kind of like a guide dog for blind people. And so the way that I wanted to approach this was that I wanted to teach people the different ways on how to approach a guide dog, because a lot of people don't really know actually how much can distract one from actually not being able to do its job. So I found out about the seeing eye through National Night Out, which is in Hopewell, and there was a table set up there, and there was a puppy. And of course, I love dogs, and that's all I want to do is just play with dogs. So I went up to the table and I was like, what is this? And then they explained what the seeing eye is, and I instantly we were having a hard time trying to figure out what I wanted to do for my Gold Award, because I didn't want to do something small, but I wanted to do something like not too big, but I mean, kind of raising a dog was a little big in the end. I ended up talking to my parents about it, and they were very like, oh my gosh, like raising a dog, like that's a lot. And I was like, yeah. We had a lot of talking, and they finally agreed. So then we signed up for the program. So at first we had to go to a couple of meetings, practice with other dogs. We got to babysit another dog before we actually got one of our own. And I decided I wanted a German Shepherd. So then eventually we did get a puppy, and her name was Rosalee. So the whole part of this was so that I could teach people on how to approach a guide dog, right? So I made little flyers to show people the different ways to approach a guide dog, which could be, I don't have a flyer on me. I wish I had a flyer on me, but so it was like, you shouldn't call out its name. You shouldn't say, oh, like, sir, how are you? Like, you shouldn't talk to the person who's blind, basically, and you shouldn't try to play with the dog, or if you have a dog yourself, do not try to get anywhere near, or if the dog is being a distraction to the other dog, pull away, all of that sort of stuff. So after I made the flyers, and I also made a patch program for the Girl Scouts, which you can achieve by doing activities and presentations within the patch to achieve the Seeing Eye Girl patch. When COVID hit, it became a problem trying to reach out to all the Girl Scouts. So that completely at one point just halted my entire patch and my entire Gold Award, basically. So I had to come up with different ideas, and it was just basically Zoom, meeting with people on Zoom, because that's all you can do now. Just like, we do this anyway, but it became very hard to complete it in the end, but I did.
You also did a video as part of your project. Can you tell us about the video?
So the video I did, it was a slideshow just showing everything what I've been doing, how I met Rosalee, what Rosalee does, different ways to approach a guide dog, as I said, how I got into the program, how to raise one. So there's certain ways to raise a guide dog, which is different than as like my dog earlier, but they can't bark. They're not allowed to do that. They have to sit on command. When you're walking with them, they have to be on your left side at all times. When you say park, that means they have to go to the bathroom, right? When you say they have to go to the bathroom. And Rosalee she was fairly good at that. She was very good at, when I said park, she went to the bathroom, like she knew what that meant. And also anytime we went out, so she's like, usually you wouldn't see a dog in the grocery store. You wouldn't see like a dog at your local gym or something. So that's what we had to go around doing with her. So we had to put a harness on, and that's how people knew this is a guide dog. You cannot try to like play with this dog unless someone were to ask. We'd make her sit because she was in training, but now she's an actual guide dog. We went through that, and we would go to the grocery store. We'd go to the mall. The mall was her favorite. Like that was because there's so many people there that it's such of a challenge in the beginning to bring her, like for her not to get distracted. And then we'd also bring her to just little like national night out things like when there, and then festivals and stuff like that. Like she'd be allowed in there. We'd have to contact the place first, make sure that it was okay, and then we'd tell them that she was a guide dog, and they'd be like, okay, like that's understandable. So we had to do that for a lot of places, but for the most part, everywhere we went, she was allowed in, and she did amazing. There was one time where I brought her into Princeton, and I actually had a sit down dinner with like a couple of my friends, and she was perfect the entire time. She sat there the entire time and just she was actually really tired, so she fell asleep.
I know one of the activities I saw you did with her was you went for an airplane ride. What is it like going for an airplane ride with a German Shepherd?
We didn't actually get off the ground, but we do a big thing through the Seeing Eye is we practice with them at the airport. So we went to the Philadelphia airport or the Trenton. Well, you can do it at anyone actually, but we went to the airport and oh gosh, there was probably like 30 dogs there. We're all lined up because if you think about it, they have to go everywhere with that person. So the one place that they would practice a lot with was at the airport, just in case somebody were to go who is blind. So that was actually, the seats are very tight on an airplane. So I was kind of like suspicious on how a dog would maybe last if somebody wanted to go to like Hawaii, like a 10-hour flight. So you definitely have to train with them. And we all walked into the plane, and Rosalee did pretty okay. I don't know how she would have done if it was off the ground, like with the ears popping and stuff, because we never actually did that. But I think it was a very cool experience for her to get on a plane and actually get to know that area before actually finding somebody, which I think is very important for them to get out as much as possible because that's what they will be doing. Rosalee is now in the breeding program part of it. So she is technically doesn't have a person that she's going to be guiding, which apparently the breeding program is better. Like that means that they have better characteristics and they're the best of the best. Like they have the best characteristics because they want those characteristics to go down to the puppies as well. I've always known that Rosalee is like great, but I would have liked to see her with like somebody, but because she definitely, when she has that person, she has that person. Like she's a very people dog, which is good.
An interesting thing I learned from your video is the difference between a guide dog and a seeing eye dog. Can you tell us the difference?
The Seeing Eye program is solely for blind people. So these dogs are taught when to cross the road when a car isn't coming, which a guide dog will say like another support dog or something. So like an anxiety dog, that's completely different than like a seeing eye dog. Like an anxiety dog might not know when to cross the street when it's like a green light or when there's no cars coming. They don't have the sort of sense that a seeing eye dog does in a way. So it's like support to that person, which a seeing eye dog also is, but the seeing eye dog needs a lot more practice because they're with a blind person. Like this person doesn't know exactly where they're going all the time, so a guide dog is a way to help them know where they're going, and they have a lot of more senses than I think a regular guide dog would have.
So you talked about COVID being a challenge. What other challenges did you experience during your Gold Award project?
Just with Rosalee, there would be times where she did like spunk out a little, or it would be harder to learn one type of trick than another. She doesn't bark, but she's vocal. So she goes like, she'll like try to like, it's like a rah, rah, like she'll like whine and stuff. And it's a lot. She'll do it all the time. And we really had to work on her with that because she, instead of barking, that's the way that she would like kind of communicate with us. So we had to like tell her to not do that. And also there was, in the very beginning, she would jump a lot, which she just jump on you. And we had to get her to like, anytime we went up to her, you wouldn't like any of my friends, I'd have to tell you, you can't pet her until she is sitting down, which is a big part of it because you don't want a seeing eye dog jumping up on you or like the blind person, if anything. And then another one is definitely, this is going to go off the COVID one as well. Not just me, but with Rosalee, we weren't allowed to go out anymore. Like you couldn't we couldn't bring her out. We couldn't see other people. We couldn't go to other dogs as well. So with the Seeing Eye program, that like our meetings completely shut down. There was a point where we just weren't meeting for months at a time, which is the whole point of it. Like this is once a month, you go to see all the dogs that you've been training, and the people at the Seeing Eye, they help you with anything you've been doing wrong, or you might be like, so that was a huge part too, because we couldn't go out anymore. We couldn't bring her anywhere. Like she was stuck inside a lot at one point, but I mean, we'd take her around the block, like just to like walk, like to get energy out of her, but we couldn't go out. Like we couldn't bring her to the mall like we used to. Like it became like she became an inside dog, and it was kind of like that was another big challenge because there was a loss of motivation, not just me, but also her. It took a lot of time, but then we started meeting up again in Zooms, and then we would practice with her on Zooms through the other people. And then if we had any questions, we would ask them and say, oh, we're having this problem. Like, what do we do? And then it started building back up again, which was good, but it definitely did stop a halt on everything. And then other challenges were like, sometimes I did lose motivation, like to finish the project because it is a lot. And there's only 3 girls in my troop, and there was only 2 of us out of the 3 that were doing it. So I was just like, oh, this is so much like work. Like, and I was a senior at the time. And in the very beginning, I had APs and stuff like that. So it was just a lot. And I'm going to recommend, do not start your project junior year, because that is when technically SATs aren't a thing right now. Like, I mean, you don't have to do them. It's choice, but I didn't have a choice. I had to do the SAT. But my junior year, it was SATs, it was AP classes, it was honor classes. Like, that's the important year. And I started my junior year, which wasn't smart at all, because I had so much going on already. And I had like soccer, lacrosse, like it was all. I do recommend, like, if you finish your silver award early, try starting at like maybe freshman year, end of freshman year, sophomore year, if anything. That was another hard part to start in the beginning, because my group, since we were so small, we didn't meet up or anything to get stuff finished to start the Gold Award.
So is there any special memories from your project?
Definitely a special memory was when Rosalee got her vest, because we were actually in Target, and I'm going to go over again how Rosalee whines a lot. This was her first test, and this was her test to get her vest. And we were in Target, and she absolutely loved my mom. So it was always me and my mom like training her together. And then at one point, when we were in Target, I needed to be alone with her. But the problem was Rosalee knew my mom was in Target somewhere without her. So we were in the middle of the test, and she was whining because she knew my mom was somewhere else in Target. And I was so like embarrassed. I was like, oh my gosh, she might not pass. Like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have to go all through this all over again. But then in the end, she started to get better, and she started to listen to me. And they obviously saw that she was listening to me, and she would sit and she would go down, and she stopped whining. So I guess she just needed a little bit of time to process that, okay, mom's not coming back. I need to get into it. So then in the end, I'm so surprised, because we did get her vest. And that was like, me and my mom were so happy, because we had taken a lot of time training her. But that was definitely a good memory for us, because my mom was like, yeah, I could hear her in Target. She was like, yeah, I could hear her a couple aisles down. And I was like, oh, great. Okay. But that was definitely a good one. And then when we heard a couple weeks ago that she had passed and she was going into the breeding program for how good her characteristics were, that was a big light up for us, because we know she's a good dog.
You also earned your Girl Scout Silver Award. Can you tell us about that project?
We actually did how to set up a table set. So like where your plate goes, and we talked about table manners as well. So with this, we did it over the summer. So we went to summer camps. We went to schools that also had summer camps. So around here, we have many many elementary schools. Like there's not just one in our area and then we all go into the high school together. So for that, we went to all the different elementary schools and we taught kids the different table manners that you should have, because with the summer camps and stuff, those are kids whose parents aren't around all the time. So they have work all the time. They're up late at night. Their parents are working. Like it's stuff like that. And we thought to ourselves, we were like, okay, so parents might not have time to teach their kids these type of things. So we thought, why don't we do it for our Silver Award project? So we actually had a laminated flyer as well. The kids got to keep, and we had the plate, and then and we also talked about what foods were good to eat, not just like junk food all the time, because some kids just eat junk food all the time. And then where the knife goes, where the fork goes. And then by laminating it, they also got to, we brought expo markers. So whatever types of foods, we gave them options of foods. And to make it more exciting, they got to draw what types of foods they wanted, because with younger kids, you need to have their attention. So we thought that would be a good way for them to have attention on us teaching them table manners and also what kind of foods to eat. That was a fun one. I like that one because I like kids too. So it was fun to see the kids actually participating in something that is also giving them something to learn as well. But as someone myself who was in after school, I was in after school because my parents, my dad was a police and my mom is just working an 8 to 5 job. So we were always at school late, and I just think it was something that I could also relate to because I didn't have someone to pick me up right after school. So this was something a little more different to do and give them to do when we came there, and they seemed very excited about it. So that was a lot of fun.
You are also an athlete, and you do a lot of other volunteer activities. Can you tell us about your other activities? My family, just in general, we are a part of the church community, very big. I did a lot within the church, and my brother and I, we both went to St. Anne's School for CCD and stuff. So I was an altar server there. For confirmation, we had to go through a bunch of stuff, a bunch of volunteering that we had to do. And one was making peanut butter sandwiches for kids in Trenton who didn't have that type of thing. And then again, this was also through my church, which this is one of the best experiences I've ever had. I went to JusticeworX. JusticeworX is a program that basically brings you to an area that needs help. And the first year, I went my sophomore year, and I went to Trenton, and it's overnight. You stay there for a week without, this was my first time away from home for a long time without my parents. And they were nervous for me, but I had the time of my life. I was so happy there. I actually worked at the Trenton area soup kitchen for a week. It's definitely sad to see how many people need to come in to get free food because they're having a hard time and they need to have a job or something. But it was also I got to know so many people there, and they would just talk about their lives, and they loved seeing us. And it was also something where they could get away from reality and talk to somebody that's they haven't seen before, just get to know somebody. And that was a lot of fun as well. And then my junior year, going into my senior year, I went to West Virginia for a week. So in Trenton, we got split up, and it was you go to the Trenton area soup kitchen, you go to the Trenton school, and you go work with kids. But in West Virginia, we all stayed together, and we helped this man. His trailer had caught on fire, so he lost everything. We helped him. He bought a new trailer, but it was a completely broken down trailer and stuff. So basically what we did was we offered him help, and we also offered a bunch of materials and stuff. So we built this trailer into some place that would feel like home for him. And we did that for a week, and we got to know a lot of people there as well, which was so much fun. And we also
not when we do that during the day, and then at night we actually get to know each other, the people who are working with each other. Both times I went not knowing anybody. Everybody always knew somebody. Like there was like groups or there was a pair, but I was all alone both times. But I made friends that I will remember forever.
And can you talk about your soccer?
My mom or dad, they didn't do soccer when they were younger. My dad was very into baseball. He got me and my brother, we were into softball and baseball, but softball was not my like full-time sport, so I didn't. But it's weird how we got into soccer. They put us into rec, and from there, then second grade, I tried out for my first travel team. And then middle school, I played in middle school, and then high school, I also played in high school, and I got a lot of awards from soccer. And I really do wish I did recruitment for high school, which I did not, but I plan on playing club soccer at James Madison University. So hopefully I do that, but this year they didn't have it because of, once again, COVID. COVID ruins everything, but I've always had the love for soccer, and especially just having a team. The Lawrence team, it's not just like teammates, that's family. Like that is my second family and will always be my second family. So that's a lot of fun too. I love soccer.
What are your plans at James Madison University and for your future?
I actually just declared my major this last semester. I went in undeclared because there's so many things that you can do. It's crazy. Like I'm still not even 100% sure, but I did declare my major as health sciences. And I plan to hopefully maybe go into physical therapy, if anything. And then, but I also, there's always I always wanted to be a marine biologist, so it could change. But it's a lot of things nowadays is how much money you make. And marine biologists don't make a ton of money, but also then again, I am the type of person who would be do what you want to do. Have fun. That is what I say, do what you want to do. It doesn't matter what other people think. And then I also, as I said before, I plan on playing club soccer, and I also plan on doing a bunch of clubs there. Hopefully, I also wanted to maybe make a club for the senior eye at James Madison, that's a huge thing to do, just starting a whole club by yourself, but I think it would be really cool to get other people into it.
Are there other Girl Scout experiences you've had you'd like to share?
I didn't do my bronze award, but I do recommend, if there's younger girls watching this, I do recommend you do your bronze award just to get yourself ready for the silver and gold award, because the bronze award is probably the easiest to get done, but it also prepares you for the bigger ones that come up, because the silver award was a lot of work and the gold award was even more, and I wish I knew a little bit more if I did the bronze award. I don't know why I didn't do it. I just didn't do it.
So how did you balance your time in order to keep Girl Scouts as part of your life?
Shout out to my mom. She pushes me. She really does push me. And that was one thing she really pushed me with. It was to finish this, to finish it out. And I'm glad I did, because I got to not only experience the seeing eye, but I also got to achieve my gold award, which is something a lot of people can't say. And a lot of it was my mom pushing me to get stuff done. You get this done, we'll do this now. Then a very organized person as well. I need to get this done, and then this done, and then this done. I have a timeline where I need to get stuff done. And I think that really helped as well. Even though a lot of things did push it back, such as COVID or my SATs, I needed to get that stuff done first. A lot of things did push it back, but we still got it done. We said I was going to get it done before senior year, but that didn't happen. But I mean, things get in the way, but I still managed to get it done. So I think a lot of people could get it done.
Yeah, the Gold Award definitely improves your prioritization and organizational skills. You mentioned that you would encourage girls to do bronze in order to better prepare for silver and gold. What pieces of silver helped prepare you for the Gold Award?
Definitely working as a group for the Silver Award helped a little bit, because you could see the different aspects of what my other troop members did in the project. So Kelly would be she would have everything organized, and that pushed me to be more organized in my Gold Award, because it was just me. Like, it's just me. So I think, I mean, you don't have to do your silver award in a group, but like, I'm glad that I did, just because I got to learn other things from other people and I saw different perspectives from them. And then I put that into my gold award. And then also like the work ethic to get it done. It was just so much fun doing. And I knew that me having a dog, like that would be so much fun doing as well for my gold award. So that also pushed me to get the gold award done as well.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience?
You do need to continue to stay focused. You can't get sidetracked from like, you can't just like put it off for months at a time, because it'll really like track you down, like in a way, like, because a lot of the time I would lose focus or motivation, and then the end, my gold award project was pushed back a lot, as I said, and I could have finished it way quicker, as I did say before. And I do recommend, as I said, to get it done before junior year, especially if you plan on taking APs and honors. There's always room to ask for help as well, like from your parents or from your fellow Girl Scouts. Like, always ask for help. It's not like you have to do everything alone.
How do you make your s'mores?
Instead of using graham crackers, because I'm not a fan of graham crackers, I'll say that, I use Oreos instead. So I like separate the Oreo, and then I put the chocolate on, and then I melt the marshmallow, and then I'll put the marshmallow on, and it'll melt the chocolate and the cream. So I think it's really good. It's definitely diabetes in one little thing, but that's okay. It's so good.
Well, thanks for joining us today.
Of course.
Make sure to click subscribe so you always know when new episodes are released. And don't forget to power your passion and conquer your challenges.
The Hearts of Gold podcast is brought to you by the Grow and Share Network, produced by Off the Walter Media Productions. Thank you for listening and spreading the word on what we do. If you want to share your story of how you earned your Gold Award, reach out and send an email to growandsshare@outlook.com. Be sure to listen to the newest episodes on your favorite podcast app, as well as view the full video episodes on youtube.com/Cheryl M. Robinson. That's youtube.com/Cheryl, the letter M, Robinson. Take care, and we'll see you next time.